Hello, and welcome to the Youth Pulse podcast with me, Dico Andrew, where we discuss pressing issues of this generation with heartful conversation, inspiring stories, and diverse perspective on girl-child marriage, reproductive health, education, youth champions, and climate, among other compelling topics, meeting your needs. Join us today to be informed, empowered, and engaged. The Youth Pulse podcast is speaking from our hearts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who is going to be watching this episode of the Youth Pulse podcast with me, Dico Andrew. And this is the part 2 of Youth Champions, as we are going to be celebrating International Women's Day this very 2025. And for the fact that each time when it comes to the Youth Pulse podcast, we do just have some amazing guests. And an intro to our guest today. This is a remarkable figure. She goes by the name Siran Riak, a true abdomen grace and talent, hailing from South Sudan and currently based in Dubai. Siran, she won a lot of hearts of people, a former Miss Earth South Sudan 2014, then Miss Popularity Malaysia 2017, and now she's an international actress, by the way, known for her role in the movie Goodbye Julia, and she's a model and she's an author and she have a lot of titles, but why not let her just introduce herself, then we are going to be diving into the conversation together. Siran, welcome to the Youth Pulse.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always exciting to see you, Dico.
When it comes to us meeting, I feel like we just have some unpacked stories of how many times that we haven't been meeting. But when it comes to Siran, I know you, but at the Youth Pulse podcast, people don't know who you are. So with a small intro, who can you tell them who is Siran? Who is Siran?
Siran is just a simple girl who loves fashion, and I always say fashion found her.
Okay.
At a very young age, and she pursued that, and she had a big dream of becoming or having an empire in fashion in South Sudan, and she's always dreamt to make South Sudan a hub for fashion. That's why anything related to fashion she's always pursuing. Yes.
And when it comes to Siran Riak, like have you seen yourself in wherever you are in 2025, or it was just a building, it's a growth dream that you have been doing?
Wow, to be honest, I just feel like the grace of God really favored me highly, and I just feel like I'm God's favorite child at this point, because a lot of things just happened. Opportunities just came at an expected time. So I would just say everything worked out very good for me.
Okay. I have mentioned many titles, and I feel like بيقولوا حلو من خشم سيد طبعا. So like with the titles that I have mentioned, which one came first, and reaching to you being an international actress now, and even you pursuing into model and fashion as well?
It started all after the war of Sudan and South Sudan.
Okay.
We moved to Uganda, and in 2011 I started modeling career in Kampala, and then in 2014 we came back to South Sudan for the Miss Beauties of South Sudan, and I won the title Miss Earth.
Did you expect that, like can I do it?
It was just a hype, honestly. I went out of the hype. Everybody was like hyping me to go. I tried it. I've never been interested in that industry, because it's a different industry altogether. I went, and it went very good. I won the title unexpectedly, but it was an experience. And in 2015 it was changed to Miss Miss Grand South Sudan. After that I went to Malaysia to pursue education. And I also joined again, because I already had the experience from here, Miss Africa Malaysia, and I won Miss Popularity. It was familiar.
So the famous girls at the uni by then,
yeah. I was the little fashion girl who loves to, catwalk and do her thing. And fast forward, I came from school to Malaysia, to Uganda and Dubai. And my career in fashion expanded at that point. It became a little bit more international in the Asian side. And I started my own model agency to give the young girls the opportunity that I didn't have when I was their age, because modeling is all about age. And being 16, 17, and 18, that's the high peak of entering the industry. And that was the most inspiring point for me to start the agency. And in 2022,
Okay.
I got a DM from the director, Mohammed Kordofani, on Instagram. It was just a normal day, a normal, I don't know, Tuesday or Thursday, and he was explaining about his film and how big it is, and it's the first film. It wasn't the first, it's the second after Satamoto Palashrin. I was honestly not expecting it. It came in a very, I don't know how to say.
Like صحيح
Yeah.
صحيح ما بكون رست اللي زال الغلط.
Right? I was just like, okay, let's try it. Why not? يعني أنا ما حخسر حاجة في النهاية. I did it and I was approved. Everything was happening so fast. And I was just like, okay. Up until the point where I went to Sudan to shoot, I was still in my La La Land. I didn't understand.
How long did it take that to shoot that series?
It took
the movie.
About 3 months. 3
4
months
in Sudan, away from home.
Yeah.
Away from your sisters.
Yeah, my agency, my
work.
It was emotionally battling because I needed to portray Julia, and then it was confusing at some point in my life because I wasn't sure if I'm me or I am her. And when I got back from the film, it took me a long time, almost 3 months, to recover from Julia.
Okay.
And that affected me in my business because I wouldn't go to work. I'm like, this life is too much for me. This high life you people are living, and everyone is like, where
are you coming from?
It was exhausting emotionally, to be honest. And they put me in the character, but it happened so fast. I didn't have time to get, out of the character. So it took me to learn that myself.
Okay. And you're portraying Julia. For those people who haven't watched Julia, I don't know what you're doing with your life, by the way. But for those people who watch Julia, like, we have seen a lot of emotion. Like, were you so attached to the character, like, as you have mentioned already, like, getting out of the character after shooting, it was a little bit hard. Like, was it like you were so emotionally connected to Julia character?
At some point, yeah, because I would have to leave her on my daily basis. If Siran wake up in the morning and let's say does 5 minutes workout and then have breakfast and then pursue her day, Julia wouldn't do that. So I needed to do what Julia would do, and I stopped anything that Siran would do for 3 months. And when you do something for 3 months, it becomes a habit.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it became something part of me.
Wow. As a former Miss Earth, South Sudan, and Miss Popularity Malaysia, how did this title influence your career and personal growth?
Wow. In so many ways, it became a responsibility at a very early stage. I didn't understand that. But it has always been a responsibility because you're always representing your country. You're always representing the girls behind you. The way you carry yourself, the way you act around people, the way you speak, how are people influenced by you, how are they looking up to you? And I always got people telling me, oh my God, you inspire me a lot, and I was wondering why. But yeah, it was a responsibility from a very early stage.
And with taking you a little bit back, still talking about Goodbye Julie, like how has it impacted your career in a way? Because like we have seen the transition from being a model and participating in a beauty pageant now into something that you have not tried before. Like, have it created something in you?
The film industry is completely different.
Yes.
I learned a lot. And it did impact me. Obviously, I got international recognition from there. I was known as a local here in South Sudan and maybe Uganda. But being in the film industry, it opened so very many doors and so many opportunities. And everything is happening, or it happened so very fast. A lot of good things and a lot of bad things at the same time. So it took me really wisdom and to slow my pace down to understand which is good for me and which is not, because everything was happening at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Being an author, a model, and an actress, like, how do you balance this? Because like أنا قاعد نحسه كتير كده في زول واحد. Even like you have an agency as well. Like, how do you balance? أنا داير أعيش كسيران. أنا عايزة أعيش
You don't want to do that.
As a CEO, I want to live with my family. I want to do this. Like, it's just a lot كده.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's taking some of my family time. But I dedicate Sundays to spend time with me, just to bother people in the house, just be a normal person. Because outside they don't look at me like a normal person. There's a character that I'm always have to carrying around outside the house, and then being It's not a CEO or 9 to 5. It's like 24 hours.
Yeah.
You're working 24 hours. You're booking models. You're checking with models. You know, it's a lot.
Sometimes I feel like how can she do all these things and yet get it all together at the end of the day? Like even sleep. Like, do you sleep?
And sometimes no.
Wow.
I'm not. I don't have it together all the time. Sometimes I'm like, I'm breaking down. Sometimes it's just you know. But I feel like God is just all over me.
Yeah.
He makes things very easy. He sends destiny helpers, people who help you in areas that you really, really, diligently need help. I have a routine. I have to have a routine. Otherwise, it's going to be all over the place.
That's for
because
sure.
things come in all the time, especially the agency is 24 hours. I'm always having Zoom calls, international time. And then I have interviews, also international time. On Zoom, people want to see me. Sometimes they want to fly me in somewhere for an interview or an event. It's just they all happen at the same time. My calendar is full.
When it comes to South Sudan, I feel like youth in South Sudan facing unique challenges, and as you being one of the youth of South Sudan, how can individual in South Sudan become a champion in their own? Because you already became a champion in your own field, and I feel like you can just give them a tip or just give them a word, because like being a South Sudanese already is an experience of its own.
Facts.
لكن لما تكون شايف في جنوب السودان like في صعوبات كتير بتواجه الواحد. وانا متأكدة like you being a South Sudanese, even if like you're in and out of the country, you also have your own challenges, but you have still overcome them. But now for us who are here and even in the rural area, like how will you be giving them an advice in a way?
Okay, from a perspective of a person who's been, I have the opportunity, I had it to see the world around. I'm able to see different mentalities, different things from different point of views. And what I would say here is dedicate yourself in that one thing that you love. Put all your time, your effort, your energy in it to grow. Like, for example, I'm very inspired by Luol. Luol Deng and what he's doing in the industry of the basketball. And I feel like he is a legend, he's a leader, and that's how I am. I'm jealous because I want to do the same for the modeling industry. I feel like he's shown me the way of how to do it. And this is how it is. You just put a lot of time, effort, money, everything, all your life basically in that one thing that you love to do, and then push from there. God will create things for you, because like when even this is like a universal law, when you are doing something, things will work out for you. You just have to dedicate yourself 100% and don't expect things to change immediately.
That's for
they
sure.
won't change immediately.
And even at some time, like as some people I know, Nas will take this code of year, like God will make for your way, but if you're not doing something for yourself, how will God help you?
Exactly.
Yeah, because like I feel sometimes we are so reluctant and we be pushing blames. حكومة ما عملوا لنا ده أهالي ما عملوا لنا.
It's not about the حكومة.
That's the thing, because like they always blame the government,
it's
but yet I feel
you.
like it's definitely about you, because like you can be creative in like just think out of the box business ideas, because like now in South Sudan I feel like South Sudan is really a fertile land. There's a lot of opportunities,
so much.
like you can just think about it, because like even in the other hand technology is around, like it's 2025, people are taking AI as an advanced thing, like you can just be taking the social media even in a diverse way to bring profit for yourself. But now in the aspect of social media, like how do you think social media play a significant role on today's world, and how can we use the platform to inspire, even advocate for positive change?
Social media is very strong advocate in the world right now. It removes presidents. It makes people and it knock you down. So it's a very powerful tool, but you need to use it in the right way. For business wise, you just have to promote, insert your ads, speak about. It's just like a normal life. You have to do something over and over and over and over again, and then everybody will see it and they will support you. Everybody supports each other on social media. They act like a whole little family all together. But it's a very powerful tool, and if we use it the right way, we will win definitely. And also one thing I wanted to add about AI. Literally what people are doing is they just ask AI, hey, my name is Siran, I am a fashion model slash actress, whatever, all your titles according to the person, and then how can I pursue this, or how can I make $1 million? I tried that, by the way.
And what?
And it gave
Really?
me, I
Wow.
asked AI about how do I become, because I'm a very shy person, I'm finding it very difficult to go on social media.
You're shy.
Yeah, go on TikTok.
Siran is shy, ya jamaa.
I'm finding it really difficult to be on TikTok. So
Yeah.
I asked AI, I'm a shy person, but my titles are 1, 2, 3, and then I want to make $1 million in a year on TikTok. How do I do that? And it gave me the way to do it, and a schedule, like hourly schedule. I asked so much details. I'm like, okay, how can I do it? What do I do per hour? Because my schedule is very tight, doing other things. And it answered everything. So why can't we as youth in South Sudan make use out of this? Like, ask AI, what are you interested in? Basketball? Okay, ask AI, where can you go to pursue basketball? You love to sing? I will give you lyrics. Just go and edit it and just make it your own thing. It will do everything for you.
And actually, to say a fact, I'm an AI user. As per this script for every episode.
Oh wow!
Let me tell you my secret. Every script,
you see, life
it's
proof.
being used by AI and me, of course. Like, I don't mind. I didn't show it. But yeah,
That's
like
amazing.
AI really helps. Whenever, especially when you're using it in a right way. But as well, when it comes to you as a Siran, you're someone who have achieved so much at a younger age, and I feel like it's been a lot. And I would love to know, like, how have you stayed grounded and even continue to grow your personality and as well professionally and on a personal basis?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not easy, to be honest. There's always pride kicking in.
Yes.
But I grew up in the church. I always learned to ground myself by fasting and a lot of fasting.
Yes.
And people think I'm doing it to lose weight, but honestly,
No.
it's just
spiritual growth.
Yeah. There's so much behind fasting in the spiritual realm because, as you know, Didi, the world is a spiritual world.
Yeah.
So before anything happens in the physical, it happens in the spirit. So I love to always tackle that in the spirit by fasting and praying a lot. I have prayer times that it's a non-negotiable for me. Even if I didn't have sleep during the day, or I'm coming from a long trip or whatever, that time is not going to be missed, because if I mess up on the spiritual realm, I'm going to mess up in the physical realm as well. So I do my best. I mean, things happen and things don't go as planned and all of that, but then I make sure I did my part, and then whatever happens, I just go with God's plan.
And I can even testify, like when we used to be doing the fasting and prayers back in the days, and as well with prayers and fasting, I can tell you, like, it works.
It does work.
Like, it really works, because there's a period of time, like we had a session of 21 days of fasting and prayers. Like, the testimony, like, I can be telling you, like, people say, you're lying.
Yeah.
Like, things are real, and God is really there. Like, people really need to start changing their past and getting back into the right way. But yeah, that's another side of the conversation. And as I mentioned, that we are celebrating International Women's Day, so happy International Women's Day. And as we are celebrating the achievement of women, like, who are some of the women that you got inspired with and from, and why even?
Oh wow. There's so many, but for the sake of my people, I'm gonna choose Adota Cage.
Okay.
Because I feel like she's opened the way for us internationally. I mean, I would say Naomi Campbell, because she fought the fight for us as black women in general in the fashion industry. But Adut also, as a South Sudanese, she represented us very well. Anoki, these are my fashion role models, and when I grow up, I want to be like them. I also love the Kenyan actress. So you have to edit this part.
What's her name?
Wait.
Kepesa. The Kenyan actress.
It's Lupita.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the Kenyan actress Lupita, because she was the first black in so many years down the line to win the Oscar, and I feel like in my new journey in the film industry, that is an icon, and this is somebody that I always want to be like. And I do want to be the next Oscar winner from South Sudan, you know, paving the way and shedding more lights in South Sudan and showing the world that we're not just good at basketball or we're not just good at modeling, because right now we're leading the world as fashion models, but we also have impact in the film industry and the music industry. We're just good at everything. Oh my God.
And even when it comes to the basketball, like imagine we are number one in Africa. Like, oof.
I know.
We are there. We are getting it there. And as well as a youthful person who have being outside there and doing so much great for the country, like I bet you'd be having ideas or even initiatives to help back home or even contribute back home. What could that be for Siran?
There's so many. Currently, I'm working privately with a few directors, not to mention so much about it, but like they're working on films, and we're just doing the international connections for them. And I do want the films to pop and be even better than Goodbye Julia and better than a lot of films out there, as South Sudanese directed and produced. And we can have the whole team from South Sudan. Obviously, we need to have an international team, but I would love most of the teams to be like maybe 60% South Sudanese. That would be really good. And also for my agency, I'm pushing for models. The modeling industry is not as before. It's getting more toxic, but I'm educating them to be wise, or when they go out there, how do they behave? They shouldn't lose sight of who they are and why did they pursue this in the first place. It's a lot of work I'm doing with some models privately as well.
I think I'm going to be registering in her agency, so please kindly contact my manager.
Yes.
And as the beauty of the Youth Pulse podcast is always run so fast, and we came to an end of it.
Wow.
But I would love you to give us a message that you'd like to convey to the young women of South Sudan on this International Women's Day as we are signing out.
Wow, you guys, we are very strong. We are beautiful. We are the most influential people, let me say, in the world, because we are the big thing. And just don't give up on your dreams. Don't feel like you need somebody to push you, because you don't. You need to push yourself, because I can't help somebody who I don't see putting effort in themselves. So just continue putting effort in yourself, continue pursuing that thing that you love, and definitely it will work out for you. It's not always going to be like rainbows, but the rainbow will definitely come.
That's for sure. I'm so happy and so honored to have you,
too.
Siran, react in our podcast, and I feel like next time we're going to be having a lot of fun, since this is part one of it today. But continue being an incredible person that you are, and may God bless you, and may all your dreams come true. And as me registering in her agency, ladies and gentlemen, you can contact my manager for any modeling agency. But from me to you, thank you so much. And remember each and every time that it carry with the potential and focus to achieve everything. So put your heads up and focus, and everything will come to pass. My name is Zico DeAndrew. This have been the Youth Pulse podcast. Till next time. Hello and welcome to the Youth Pulse podcast with me, Zico DeAndrew, where we discuss pressing issues of this generation with heartful conversation, inspiring stories, and diverse perspective on girl-child marriage, reproductive health, education, youth champions, and climate, among other compelling topics, meeting your needs. Join us today to be informed, empowered, and engaged. The Youth Pulse podcast is speaking from our hearts.